I want you guys to settle a little debate for me. Alright, context. Last year we launched Xavier's signature yo-yo. We called it the offset yo-yo Zenon. In all honesty, I thought it would do well. I just didn't know it would do that well. So we launched the Zenon with a physical event, and just seeing how crazy everyone went over the Zenon was really eye-opening. Then we put it online, and the Zenon sold out so quickly that it was out of stock for months. We literally couldn't get the new ones in fast enough. People were emailing us, when are you restocking the Zenon? And so long story short, Zenon was restocked. But in the midst of all of that, Xavier and I have had this, let's call it a debate. Xavier is a highly aesthetic guy. Chances are, if there's anything aesthetic that you like about the Offset brand, that was probably Xavier. And for the most part, I understand that I'm not an incredibly aesthetic individual. I don't have a very aesthetic taste for things. And so largely, I keep out of Xavier's way. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. Except this one time. Can I be real with you guys for a second? I'm not a huge fan of splashes. There, I said it. If I was to describe my taste in yo-yos with 3 words, it would be bright, vibrant, solid colors. Okay, that's 4 words, but still. Something like this. Bright, vibrant, solid. More examples. Bright, vibrant, solid. If I was to describe my favorite company, but my favorite aesthetic company in the entire world, it would be Apple. Walk into an Apple store. You go inside, everything is just these solid colors. They stick to a color, it's simple. You don't look, you don't have a MacBook with like a splash. It doesn't work like that. Now, I don't feel super strongly about this rule. There are a few exceptions. Fades, these are okay. I like these. These are pretty cool. Galaxy splashes, I don't know, this particular color combination, this is sick, not gonna lie. But anything too extreme, too much, for me personally, I tend to steer the Offset brand away from that direction. Now, Xavier respectfully disagrees. He wanted a black yo-yo with a red splash, and a black yo-yo with a splash, and then a green on it, and then a red yo-yo with a pink ring, and it's too much. It's, you know, I like simple colors, you know? It's of my opinion that you guys don't like all of these elaborate splashes either. You guys prefer just the base, normal, solid colors. Xavier disagrees. He thinks that the artsy colors will do better than just the plain, normal, tried and true colors. I'm gonna leave this up to you guys to decide. Let me remind you guys what the colors are. Alright, so if you guys remember the new Zenon colors, there are actually 6, which splits very strategically. On the one side, we have the Brandon Zenon collection. We have a solid blue. We have this solid forest green, glossy on the inside, blasted on the outside. And of course, we have our heavy hitter, blasted red, just like that. Blue, red, green. Keeping it simple, keeping it the way everyone likes it. Those were my suggestions. Here are Xavier's. He's got a black body with a red X splash, and you know, he was going all fancy with that. Instead of the original color that everyone knows and loves, no, he changed it up. It's full red, and now it has this inner pink glossy ring. Why is it pink? I don't know. He said it was provocative. I'm not sure. And to top it all off, he did this. This is a red splash with a green X. It was inspired by like this anime, red and a black and a green, and he wanted to make something that kind of mirrored that. And so now we have 2 separate collections. We have the Brandon Zenon collection, i.e. Brandon's color ideas selection, and we have the Xavier colors idea selection. Brandon, Xavier. Now, I'm not sure how strongly I feel about my position. We did release the other vlog, and everyone was like, yo, the new colors are sick. Xavier, you did a great job. And from time to time, people have called my sense of aesthetic, sense of style, sense of taste boring. Some would say vanilla, even. But, you know, what I say to that is, do you want to know what the best-selling ice cream flavor is of all time? Vanilla. We did a little bet. He was willing to bet that the new exotic Xavier collection colors would outsell the old, relatively tried and true offset colors that do well. So, we're gonna leave this up to you guys. The winning team has decided on which collection was more popular. We'll get a 10% discount based off their order. If you guys get one of these colors, you're on Team Xavier, and if this collection is more popular, you get a 10% discount, and then the opposite happens here. Now, to be fully transparent with you guys, for the second run of Zenons, we made a few tiny design tweaks that no one will really notice, but we felt were more or less necessary from a preference point of view. In terms of the gap width itself, we widened the gap just a little bit. Xavier uses really long strings, so just adding that, that tiny bit of gap width made the yo-yo just more suitable for him. Aesthetically speaking, we extended the bimetal styling part on the collections that still utilize this bimetal styling design. And then we also made 2 versions with no bimetal styling whatsoever. And then kind of overall, we added 1 extra gram just to give it that extra bit of oomph. And then we also experimented with bimetal styling in different areas. So this is kind of like an inner ring bimetal styling. If I'm gonna be honest, all of these design changes are pretty imperceivable to most people, but I just wanted to let you guys know that, we still, we're still out here, we're still improving. Oh, how's the shipping going, Danny?
Great.
Yep. So, my mom has officially gone on holiday, and so literally it's just me and Danny in the apartment now. We just got done with this massive tutorial series. If you guys want to go check that out. But all in all, it's just us two, manning down the fort right now. This is a funny little example, but I remember when I used to work at a large 9-to-5 corporation, and the leaders of that business, they were called the senior leadership team. And for the most part, they never really listened to the people doing the job. They were just very concentrated on their vision. And that always rubbed me the wrong way. That just seemed closed-minded and arrogant. And so I thought that if I was ever to be put in a position where, there were people executing upon the idea that I had, I would be more open-minded, and I would consider every alternative and every perspective from the person who was actively doing the thing. And what you begin to learn is that A, the experts are wrong all the time, but the second thing is that no one really respects, I guess, a leader, for lack of a better word, with a very wishy-washy vision. It's your job to point the ship in which direction you want it to go. And so leadership, I'm finding out, is this delicate balancing act between absolute resolve in what you want to achieve and this kind of delicate sense of open-mindedness, and balancing the two is super tricky. Like, an example is, I don't have an engineering background. I'm not a very technical guy. I don't even personally CAD a lot of the yo-yos. I don't operate any of the machinery. But what I wanted was a 50mm outer ring bimetal yo-yo. Everyone I asked, I was like, can we do this? They're like, nope, it can't be done. Everyone was wrong. Like, the fact that no one asked the question meant that the default answer was always no. But it's possible. You can actually stretch it much further than you initially think. I had an entrepreneur friend of mine that literally looked at me dead in the eye and was like, you will never be able to make a viral yo-yo video. That guy was wrong too. Or there was this other time when everyone was cautioning me against making a square yo-yo out of Delrin that would actively harm your hands. You know what? I think I was wrong that time. But what I've realized more, the older I get, is that no one really knows what they're doing. Not me, not you. Now don't get me wrong. There are certain degrees of ignorance, right? There are people who know what they're doing more than the next person, right? I know how to make a better video now than I did 3, 5, 10 years ago. But even today, I don't have a degree of certainty that what I put out will be well received and will be well liked. These are things that are still, to a degree, just a guess. And all of my life experience just gives me the ability to guess a little better. Am I wrong? Aren't I? I'm not sure. All right, just pick a Zenon at offsetyoyo.com and settle this debate.